Thank you for staying tuned to Sunrise at Sea. We continue with our views, but before I do that, I'd like to let you know about our CTV Valentine's experience, and you can only enjoy this by watching CTV, and you only have to simply wetege or sirike, and you could win amazing prizes from us. So all you have to do is watch CTV, follow us on our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and then mention in your post and tell us why your loved one deserves a treat from CTV. We have a lot and many surprises and gifts for you this Valentine's Day, so you do not want to miss that. So keep on watching CTV throughout the day, and not just only Sunrise at Sea. Watch it all day, all night, and you can watch us even live on our social media, and that's on Facebook, and that is at CTV Uganda, and on our website, and that's at www.ctv.co.ug. I say so many W's, didn't I? Weteke or CDK. Yes. And that explains why our center table today has flowers, and it is all wrapped like a big box, you know, like a huge gift. I love gifts, and I can't wait for Valentine's Day. So today on Our Views, our second topic, we continue the conversation, and I asked on our social media handles, and that's on Twitter and Facebook, is sleeping your way to the top a necessary evil? And why I asked this is because today we will be discussing the intersection between sexuality, money, and power. We all know that female sexuality has been regarded an economic asset, and beauty is a tool of social advancement in many places, in learning institutions, especially in the workplace. So today, especially today, we're going to be talking about it in the workplace. So ladies, is sleeping your way to the top a necessary evil? I mean, we have had the stories. In Uganda, it's understudied. However, in the US, it did show that about 15% of women in director positions or top positions have slept their way to the top by giving sexual favors to their bosses to getting up there. And 37% have been rewarded for it with either a promotion, or salary increase, or maybe a good parking spot. We don't know what they do, right? So is slipping your way to the top a necessary evil? Ladies?
No, it's not.
Yes, no?
Are you sure?
Why not?
I don't agree with it.
You don't agree with it. Why don't you agree with it, Sandra?
Because I feel that, first of all, you lose all credibility. If you can get the job done, you can get the job done.
But
right?
if you can't get the job done?
If you can't get the job done, then why are you even there? How did you get there?
I think for us to have to say that if you can get the job done, then you can get the job done. We do know that around the world, and especially Uganda, is still predominantly patriarchal. You understand?
Yes.
And even though we now have movements around the world, affirmative action with girls now going to school and, you know, studying and getting all these degrees and PhDs, and now even leading offices and institutions. I mean, we have a female vice president at the moment. She's the second one. We've had a female speaker of parliament. We have many females in ministerial positions in the country. We have women ruling the world now in some countries. But we can't deny the fact that the men still run the show. And you understand? Because if in this day and age we still have the first woman to do this, the first woman to do that, the world is still run by men. And sometimes you have to sell your soul to get there. It's not that you're not deserving of it, but there's sometimes sacrifices do come, and that is a fact. Let's not be blinded to that.
Yeah. For me, in my perspective, first of all, I would say sleeping one's way to the top is not something I would subscribe to. However, I might be talking from a point of privilege. Probably why? Because I have earned my position at the top because of my qualifications and the skills that I have. However, for young ladies out there, many of them have not had the kind of education that they ought to have. Many of them have been forced in circumstances where they have to sleep with their bosses in order to get where they are. Why? Because that is just the way life has been for them. And for us to deny, first of all, these things happen in different countries. These things happen in our organizations in Uganda. So we should stop pretending that they do not happen, because the fact is that they do happen. The only difference is that not so many people are willing to actually come and talk about these things out, one, because of the stigma and the judgment. However, in most cases, survival is for the fittest. The question is, to what extent are you willing to go for what you want? For some people, it means selling their body and the soul to the devil. For some of us, we work hard and we work tirelessly. But if the tables were turned, the question would be, wouldn't you also be sleeping your way to the top?
The thing is, I would like to correct you, Shivan, there. So it's not that it's only women who are underprivileged or women who have not had the finest education. Sometimes it's women who have got the creme de la creme of any education in this world, who still have to use their sexuality or sex appeal to get what they want, or to be hard. Because again, like I say, the men still run the world. It's something that we need to, talk about and, learn and accept and acknowledge that this actually happens. So it is not just that. So again, I ask, is it necessary? If you are put in a position where you tick all the boxes and have all the credentials, but you're not getting there because your boss is saying, Mpako, I give you.
Wait again.
Or do you judge? Or maybe let me rephrase my question. Would you judge a woman who slips her way to the top?
No, absolutely not.
It depends for me. I would and I would not, depending. If you are put between a rock and a hard place, and you didn't want to do it, but you wanted this promotion, and you ended up doing it, I would not judge you. Because I have not walked a day in your shoes. I cannot judge you from where I'm seated.
Yeah.
But like you said, excuse me, the women who have the creme de la creme of educations, they have gone to Ivy League universities around the world, but then they still do this. It's not that they don't have the money or the exposure or the status. They do, but they're so hungry and they wouldn't stop at anything to get what they want. Those women, I would judge.
Yeah, just women that
absolutely.
are
I would
promiscuous,
judge them because why are you doing that? Do you have to do that? Do you have to sell your soul? Like, you could walk away. So why are you doing it? Like Oprah. I remember Oprah, and no, the first boss did not ask her to sleep with him in order to get that position, but he refused to give it to her because he preferred the guy on the show that they were co-hosting. And Oprah left and went and started her own career. Years later, this same guy who told her she would never make it, she found him in her waiting room to see her. So there's always another way, especially for those women I'm saying who are very well educated. There's always another way. You shouldn't do that. But to play the devil's advocate, I think using your sexuality to a certain extent is power. Because then you get the men to listen. If you use it to a certain extent, don't go the whole 9 years, but get their attention, because guess what? You already have the brains. So why not use your charm and beauty? I mean, that's your femininity. God gave it to you. So use it.
Because this is the thing, and let's also look at it in the entertainment industry. We have heard of the term colorism, where light-skinned women are favored above dark-skinned women. This is something that is actually huge in pop culture, where now we have people who are bleaching their skin so that they can be more attractive. It's not that you're not dumb, it's just that you don't have the look and you don't have the favor of people in the office. So, and also when I talk about sleeping your way to the top, I may not say necessarily sleeping with somebody, you know, physically or getting intimate with them, but there are also other ways of sleeping your way to the top. Blackmail, befriending,
Friends with
Flirting.
benefits.
flirting your way to the top, there, being conniving. There are many ways that you can get in bed with people of power so that you can get what it is that you want in return. So ladies, I don't want to ask the question directly, but would you? Because see, this is the thing, a lot of people, especially, and ladies, some of them in the workplace environment, get themselves, especially entertainers, a number of them have come out to say, I will not mention their names, but a number of them have come out to say, because they were put in a place in, between a rock and a hard place, and they had to choose. You either give me or you step out, and your situation, and your career is going to end. For other women, it has boiled down to sexual harassment, and now they have to endure this to keep on moving on. We have had stories of students in, educational institutions here in Uganda who have had to give themselves to their lecturers so that they can get marks. So who's at fault here? Is it the woman who is giving giving off the energy that she can be taken advantage of? Or is it just that the men in these institutions are just awful people and taking advantage of them?
It is both. Both should be held accountable. The women who are giving the idea that, or who want to slip their way to the top, and then the men who are actually also giving hints that, if you want something, if you want to get here, then the best way to do it is, meet me here, or it both need to be held accountable, because it takes two people to tango. Both of you are in this situation together. So for me, it is both parties should be held accountable.
Yeah, I think that we forever rant about men's double standards. Yes. But I think women, we need to take a closer look at ourselves, because you go there and you're flaunting this in front of the men, and they are not allowed to take advantage of this. If I was a man, I would take advantage of it. I mean, you're flaunting it in my face.
Flaunting what exactly?
Maybe you're being too flirtatious. You see the women that are so flirtatious, and if the guy is reading your green light, then you say, oh my goodness, it's sexual harassment. How could he do this? But you're the one who's leading him on.
But see, this is the thing. Because I'm being flirtatious does not mean I'm consenting to it. Or because how I speak, you think that
or how I dress makes you feel that
or how I carry
asking.
myself, or how I sit down, or how I cross my legs. You think I'm
That
being
is
flirtatious
different.
with you.
That is different.
Because
No, I'm
you're
saying
under the
flirting,
assumption. The man is under
flirting.
the assumption.
Flirting is directed towards something. It's not the way you're sitting, or it's flirting is directed towards a person. That's why it's called flirting. So if I'm flirting with you, I'm in your personal space. I come into your personal space. I'm telling you you're looking like this or looking like that. I'm touching your shirt. I'm saying, oh my goodness, you look hot today, and this and that. And then you reciprocate. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, no, it's too much. Many women do this. They do it to be provocative, and they're in someone's personal space. So, and men are not allowed to take advantage of this?
No, you're not allowed to take advantage of
honey,
it.
no.
You are not
Because
allowed
you
to.
flirt with me.
I am going to take advantage of
Because
it
it's
if
not
I'm a guy.
consent. It's not consent. And that is wrong, actually.
Waking up in the morning and going to your office dressed a certain way, or carrying myself in a certain way, gives you no right to think that I actually want you to come on to me.
Yeah.
That's different. But I'm saying if you're flirting with that person, if you're dressing a certain way and you're sitting a certain way, absolutely
But
not. Nobody's supposed to come in your
why should
personal
the
space.
women have to be the ones who are mindful of how we dress or how we carry ourselves? How about the men keep their zippers closed? Simple.
Okay, that's a bit extreme.
Yes, no, because
No, there's nothing extreme
I
about
may be
it.
flirting with you, but it's not consent for you to now start touching my bosom or touching my
absolutely
buttocks,
not, no.
or assuming that now I want relations with you because I am flirting back. It is just that, flirtation.
And
It's
just being flirty.
But also sexual harassment in the workplace. I'm not saying the guy should come and touch you or anything. I'm just saying if he's using the same language, he's mimicking, he's mirroring what you're doing. Yes? But also the lines are a bit hazy on sexual harassment in the workplace. Some people don't even know they're being sexually harassed in the workplace. So when this happens, like you use certain language, you call the guy love, he starts calling you love back, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is too much. Then you need to pick a side, honey. If you're not, decide not to flirt as well, so that nobody flirts with you.
But also,
you can choose to do it to a position that you are comfortable with, and then when it gets out of hand, you can say, you know
Of
what?
course, yes.
Stop.
Stop, yes.
That is how it works. But I can always say no at whatever time.
yes,
That's
but also
I can
for-
always, abort mission
Like,
at any time.
call up. But also in relation to what Sandra said, I think as women, we should also stop being a bit naive We should know when some
Yes.
of these things are about to happen, because you're not going to. I remember sometime I asked a question on our views, and we're asking, would you allow your man to have a female best friend? And one of the comments that we got, it was
Yeah.
in video form. The guy said, it's like having a dog. It's like having a dog as a pet, and then you're the meat, and you expect the dog to just look at you.
Okay, I get that,
no.
Shiva, but let's get back to the conversation and talk about sleeping the way to the top. So if ladies cannot do that, so how can we insert ourselves in positions of leadership or take up promotions without having to compromise our bodies, our values, and our principles?
Fight.
Fight how?
Fight
You go and
tooth
box
and nail.
people?
Use your brains, use your skills, use your social capital to get your way to the top. Use your connections if you have please do not blackmail. Don't use your connections in regard to bed. I mean, use your social capital, use the people that you know, use the skills that you have been taught. Be outgoing and be very open-minded. Be also adventurous, be daring. Yes, have the fire and the zeal to be someone that can also sit at the table. Because if you do not have something driving you to sit at the table, then what are you even doing anyway? So at the end of the day, the question is, what do you want to be remembered for? So the only way women can actually get at the table is that, guys, men will always be men. Men will always find a way of probably stepping onto your toes. The question is, can you beat them at their own game? If they're bringing fire, bring fire. Like, do what you have to do, as long as it does not involve sleeping your way to the top.
I think a way to do this in organizations is through transparency. For example, having performance reviews, you have performance reviews, and you have people that sit, human resource and the managers in charge, the CEO and everybody, to look at these performance reviews and see, is this person competent? Are they growing? Are they working towards achieving our goals and objectives as an organization? Then merit is given where it's due. And if you want that promotion, with such transparency, then you can get it. And also creating spaces where women can talk about this. Mm-hmm. Creating spaces where women can talk about this, freely talk about this, and these issues can be addressed.
Let me briefly talk about the issue of merit before I go in and read the topics. But we have seen instances, a lot of instances, where there are people holding offices without merit. They're there because they know someone. They're there because they did something to get there. So I think for me, my advice to you, my darling, is instead of having to sleep your way to the top, how about you create your own organization and beat that organization at what it is that they're doing? Because if we're going to have to wait for somebody else to start taking care of us, there's a lot of bureaucracy in the corporate environment. Let's call a spade a spade. There's a lot of bureaucracy everywhere, in government, in private institutions, everywhere. A lot of people get there, even the ones who are deserving of it, get there by selling their souls. It is not an easy thing to climb up the corporate ladder. And it's easy for us to come here and sing fairy tales and say, oh no, work hard, go to school and do this. No. There's a lot that happens behind closed doors. Yes. And there's a lot of things that people have done to get there. And there's a lot of people will do to stay there. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So when we talk about merit, I think we are even past merit. It's about being smart about it and not being hardworking about it. So anyway, let me read a few comments that were shared under our tweet. And I asked, is sleeping your way to the top a necessary evil? And Yohana did say, if you are a man.
What?
Mm-hmm. Okay, Yohana. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Moving on, our next tweet comes in from Ivan, and he says, it is unnecessary stupidity encouraged by the inability to manage focus, time, status quo, and destiny. Okay. Well, if you want to be a part of this conversation, it continues on our social media handles on Twitter and Facebook. And please let us know what you think. And if you did not catch the rest of the show that we started with in the beginning, you can always rewatch it on our YouTube channel, and that is at CTV Uganda. Don't go anywhere. This is Sunrise at Sea.
Thank you so much for being a part of Sunrise at Tea. Not forgetting that there's something Sarah did hint on earlier on. Who is your Valentine? Well, this week, starting today, we have started a special Valentine campaign. Now, this one is for singles, and it is called the Singles Survivors Kit. All you need to do is to go to our different social media platforms, that is on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and let us know how come you are single this Valentine. And you might actually be the lucky winner of this very beautiful gift hamper that was given to us by Ella's Wrap. And right here I have a bouquet of flowers, and Sarah, what's that you have right there?
I have balloons.
Valentine's mood. So if you would like to get yourself these and more, all you need to do is to go to our different social media platforms. If you are a single, this one is strictly for singles. Let us know why you deserve to be our Valentine tomorrow, and we shall be announcing the winner tomorrow. Otherwise, keep watching Sunrise at Sea. Thank you so much for being a part of us right from the hour of 7 a.m. up until 9 a.m. Stay tuned, because we still do have amazing programming coming right after this. Good morning, and don't blink.